Angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground, sanctuary. Trying to be with your touch, oh Lord, return me to dust. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found.
All right. So we are just on time. Welcome, everyone. Let me just make sure we are being recorded. And my name is Sonia Line Arsenault. Perfect. And I just want to make sure that my camera is up, everything is running. So welcome. I am from New Brunswick, Canada. Was just asking everyone here that took time for either being live with us or on the replay, let us know where you're tuning in from. We've got people from, I keep saying all over the world, but mostly North America. I know we have some Canadians and some US friends in the house, but we may have some other countries because we are, an international community. And we're going to be hanging out tonight and talk about something that some of us were on another call last night. If you were on a call with Dr. Jimmy Gutman, please type a one in the comment. He talked about the something we're going to be sharing a little bit later tonight over the call. And I was just really happy to learn from a doctor that has done some research and just some of his knowledge. So he shares with us for free. And we learned some very interesting facts. So tonight we have a lot of different speakers coming up. You might know some of them, or it might be the first time. And we're going to go over some of the statistics, but we're going to talk more a little about our personal testimonies because learning all the facts about products is great and, tips and tools, but hearing what has affected us with in our everyday life. So I'm just curious how many of you have had some nights where you either slept very poorly. You toss and turn, or maybe you've had enough sleep, but you wake up the next day and you feel like you haven't had any sleep at all, and you're just exhausted and you walk around like a zombie. I know for me, that wasn't fun, and it's something that can affect you in so many different ways. And we're going to go over some of these most important facts and things you can do that are so simple that we forget. And tonight, I want to bring up my good friend and business partner, Doris. Now, Doris is here to share not only what she's went over and learned after the call with Dr. Jimmy Gutman yesterday, but she always goes and dig a little bit deeper and find some facts and benefits and different things for us. So Doris is passionate about helping others and sharing things about your wellness, but she's very good at educating us. So I know we're going to go back and forth, and I'll come back on. I've got more things to share with you. Doris, why don't you take it over tonight and just share your thoughts and piggyback from last night, won't you?
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, Sonia. And I'm really excited to be here and doing this call this evening. And I really want to just take a minute to welcome everyone and thank them for taking the time to learn more about sleep and stress and squirrel brain and brain fog, because these are things that certainly affect a lot of people. And the information that you're about to receive, if this is a challenge that you have, or your partner has, or your kids have, you're going to leave this call with a lot of usable tips and a lot of things that are going to really improve your life. So I'm super excited about that. Um, how much sleep do we need? 7 to 9 hours as adults. And our kids, the younger they are, the more that they need as well. And sleep deprivation, not getting enough sleep, it affects more and more people all the time. And I know, Sonia, you mentioned the call with Dr. Gutman. He's absolutely amazing. He shared an interesting fact. The World Sleep Society, and yes, there is one of those, it's a big enough issue. They say that up to 45% of the world's population, think about that, almost half of our population will experience some form of serious sleep disorder. And so when I was doing my research for this call, I found out something interesting that I didn't know. Were you aware that Albert Einstein prioritized his sleep and made sure he got 10 hours every night? Yeah,
I had no idea.
significant, significantly more than the average individual. They say in the United States, at least 20% of people are deficient in at least 90 minutes of sleep every night. And so he took regular naps. He made sure that he had mental energy and that his sleep boosted his creativity. So he was in bed by 10 o'clock every night. And I know naps really resonated with you, Sonia.
Yeah, I was like, does it mean that I'm part of the genius brains? Because I love napping and I do feel so beneficial after naps now. So definitely, Albert Einstein, I'll listen to him for sure.
So, when we were talking about this, and I know that this sleep is an issue that certainly affects women of a certain age, which so many of us are, but sleep deprivation affects anybody at any age. Just think about students. And the challenges and the pressures that they have with school and work and lifestyle demands. Our kids are increasingly more stressed at school. The world is more stressed. And so it's important that we take a look at things like sleep and stress and our inability to shut off our minds because it's something that and what you'll learn as we talk in this call today, it's such a vicious cycle of you don't sleep, you wake up stressed. You are stressed, you don't sleep. And when you're not getting enough sleep, you're suffering from things like brain fog and you can't shut your brain off. And um, I used to joke, and this is just crazy because never slept, that I'll sleep when I'm dead. And what you'll learn in today's call is how ironic that is because truly, not getting enough sleep will get you there faster. So I think that this call is super important for that reason.
I
So,
couldn't agree more, Doris. And I'm sorry I cut you out, but I just wanted to say how it does affect, and it's not just it's any age now these days. Like even my young kid has harder time to sleep, and it is because of the electronics and the different things. Not just that, the stress and the way we eat and all that. But for me, I am battling the biggest health journey of my life right now, and I know that sleep and stress together uh, was a big factor. So get yourself a little bit less stress and better sleep if you want to stay as healthy as you can for the longest time in your life. And I'm telling you this as a stage 5. I keep saying this because I don't associate with my diagnostic, because I do believe that the power of the mind plays a big role in your healing. So that's what they say that I have. And I do dialysis. And to be honest, if I didn't sleep at all. So this past summer, and right now I'm getting some little sleep. And we'll talk a little bit more about that and then ways to calm down your stress.
for
But
sure,
Doris, I
for
just had
sure.
to say, just take care of your body right
Yeah.
now.
Well,
It
and
doesn't
stress,
matter.
let's talk about one of the biggest things that sleep impacts is your stress hormone, cortisol. And we know that cortisol levels that are elevated for long periods of time lead to health concerns like weight, insulin resistance, and diabetes. There are so many things that just cortisol alone is going to have a negative impact. Sleep affects your brain, it affects your mental health. It affects your physical health. It affects how you do day-to-day activities. Did you know that, according to a recent PubMed article that I read, 20% of all serious car crashes are associated with lack of sleep? And that's outside of where alcohol was a factor and caused sleep. So that's just being straight up tired. Yes, and Pam, great point. Big time inflammation. So, what are we seeing with lack of sleep with your mental health? You're irritable, you have increased stress levels, you have a higher risk of anxiety and depression, and you struggle to manage emotions. And how many of our spouses or our kids or our pets will tell you that when you didn't get enough sleep, man, you were miserable that day. And again, the physical effects, weakening your immune system, and as a result of doing that, you have an increased opportunity for illness, and not just those things like, oh, I'm going to get a cold. It's like a higher risk of of heart attack and stroke and high blood pressure and diabetes. It's incredible when you think about what sleep impacts. And I think that the vast majority of us don't realize that we're going to be dealing with chronic health conditions and persistent mental health issues and a reduced life expectancy. You know, you want to live longer? Sleep. That's going to be the big difference. So, Sonia, I know we were talking before about tips for getting better sleep, and I know you have a few that you wanted to share.
Right. See, I have a book of them. I've tried them all. And sometimes in your life, less is more. So definitely turning off your Wi-Fi at night, guys. You have no idea how terrible these things are. You want to, same with electronics, not have food 3 hours before you go to bed. That's just common sense, right? Deep breathing. Deep breathing is something that can really get you into a state of chill, Zen kind of mind. Another thing that I found this week as we were researching this kind of cool is with your body. So imagine if you take your toes and you squeeze them and then you release them. And then do the same with your calves. And then go up your body, your thighs, your stomach, contract, relax all of your muscle. Do it. Do take 2 minutes, 5 minutes, do some deep breathing. And when you relax, like mentally think of the place that you are loving, where you feel your best self, and just let yourself tell your body. You need to teach your body how to relax, because the world is teaching us how to stay always stressed out of our mind and go, go, go. And we want to microwave life, everything ready right now. But guys, that's not how we live. You want to really, when you start realizing less is more and just to relax a little bit more. And I know it's easier said than done, but try that. Another thing is for oh yeah, if it's after 20, 30 minutes, if you have bad insomnia and you're still not sleeping, get up, go on your couch, go in another place just to change the setting. Have you done that before and then you pass out in the lazy boy? I know that works for me. Might not be ideal, but you're still getting sleep rather than no sleep at all, if it's like crazy moon time or whatever's the reason that you cannot sleep at night. What about you, Doris? What are your tips?
Well, obviously, doing things like limiting your caffeine and your sugar are important. But one of the things, and avoiding the screens and the blue light, one of the things that I thought about was how we set up bedtime routines for our kids. It was bath time, and then it was PJs, and then it was a book or two or three, depending on how many they let us get away with, or we let them get away with. And we created that bedtime routine so that then their little bodies knew that it was time for sleep. And somehow we forget to do that as adults. We forget that we need to have those bedtime routines as well. And then there's things that you can do, like keeping your room dark and quiet and having a regular schedule that certainly helps with that as well. But, it's important that we sleep. It's not optional. We require it. Our bodies require it. And they torture people by, playing loud music and keeping the lights on so that they don't sleep. And that tells you how important it is. And we've talked a little bit about the fact that not sleeping leads to stress. And stress is just another big one. It's our body's natural response to the challenges that we face. We have short-term stress, like the stress of hopping on one of these calls and talking to North America. And then there's long-term stress. And obviously, chronic long-term stress is the one that, leads to, and I think Surjit, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, mentioned that he had that challenge of stress and what it can cause. So, Sonia, I know stress was a big one for you. Oh, Pam's given us a great idea. Relaxing the vagus nerve by working the neck muscles, especially around the ears, and working into
I
the
forgot
scalp.
that. Thank you, Pam.
Yeah. Yeah. How much
Right.
tension we hold in our head and our scalp. That's, yeah, absolutely. Wow, Sergi. Stress is a major contributor to 80 degenerative diseases. It'll kill. In 2013, he flatlined in the hospital emergency, and his heart literally stopped from stress.
Wow. I'm
Thank
glad
you for
that you're
sharing
still
that.
here today. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it can, in this chronic stress, the things that we do, and we put all of this pressure on ourselves, right? And the things that we, don't want to do, but we do. So, Sonia, talk to me about how you balance stress because I really think that what you do, I mean, I was taking notes when you were sharing this one.
Yeah, and I believe that a lot of my issues, I say issues in my tissues, but in my whole body, scar tissue and things like that is memory trauma from the past, and it is because of stress. And I spent, I would say, more than half of my life thinking of scenarios that never even existed, never even happened. So I stressed and I lived in fear, and I didn't know that. And fear has to do with kidneys and stress. I remember my grandmother and like older than telling me when I was younger, stress kills or stress will give you like diseases. And I was like, oh, whatever. And like, but it truly does. And it really sucks that I had to, I had to go this route, I guess. But yeah, and I have some tips for you to decrease your stress. And the best thing that I was able to do is create and imagine like a box. I have a box that when there's problems that happens in my life, whether it's the homesteading, homeschooling, an animal was attacked, or like just there's so many things that can happen. Sometimes it's financial stress. Sometimes it is something happening in your body and you're freaking out, maybe a diagnostic you didn't want. Put it in a box. If you have things happening and you cannot control it, put it in a box and you'll deal with it later or solution will happen. But if there's nothing you can do right away, there's no sense of you freaking out, making a big deal out of it, and getting your flight or fight responses to tell your cells in your body that you are getting sick, because that's what it is when your body is experiencing stress. And then the panic attacks, and then you start eating not good, doing the wrong things. You don't sleep well, and it's a vicious circle. And you can only run a cycle like that for so long. You're going to hit a wall. And I tell you, you don't want to burn out and you don't want to have that extreme condition because you could have prevented it.
For sure.
If it's not going to matter to you in 5 years from now, don't give it more than 5 minutes. Deep breathing, of course. And then the last thing that goes with the sleep and the stress also is humming, singing. That has helped me with natural birth for pain endurance, but also it creates the happy hormones in your body and it helps you heal faster. And I believe in frequency in music and things like that. So, what
Yeah,
about
there's nothing
you?
nothing
Yeah,
like a kitchen dance party
right.
to just
Or
bring up your spirits
a
and
hug too. I forgot about
yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, hugging somebody you like, preferably not a stranger on the street.
No, someone
Talking to
you like.
talking to someone that you trust. I know you mentioned the deep breathing and that sort of thing. Getting enough sleep. Again, we're circling it right back. And I have to say, one of the most underutilized tools for stress and for depression is exercise.
Oh,
Getting
yes.
out, just a 10-minute walk up the street and back. Yeah, getting out into nature, hug a tree, you
Hug.
know. And I think another thing that we really need to do, and we don't, is set realistic goals for ourselves. We want to take on more things. We want to put more things on our plate. And, when you take on more that you can handle, then, you're topping on that plate is stress, and you definitely don't want that. So
I've
let's
got
talk.
one more
Oh,
thing I
sure.
want to bring up that I think that we're segging into. How about we talk about this a little bit? Is that where you were headed into?
No, I was
Oh,
not. We're going
okay.
to, but I wanted to talk just a little bit about the busy mind
Oh, yeah.
and brain fog, feeling slow and confused and having low focus or clarity and, just kind of like your brain is in a haze. I know that I have suffered from that. I know so many people have. I mean, there's your common walk into a room and forget while you were there. But when you get into a situation where you're not sleeping or you're stressed and you can't remember the most basic of things, that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And the opposite of that is that squirrel brain or the hamster on the wheel or that busy mind where you get distracted easily, you have trouble staying on a task, you're overstimulated, you're multitasking. Oh, we're going to have to come back to that, Sergeet. I don't remember that nursery rhyme, so you're going to have to share that with us in a bit. But I mean, and we have you want to talk squirrel brain? Our social media has taught us through Reels and TikToks and Facebook to have a very short attention span. Social media. How long is a reel? 30 seconds. And so again, I circle back to what causes that. a lack of sleep, stress and anxiety, poor diet, a lack of getting out there and getting some physical activity. And I think that it's so important that these are all tied together, and you know that if you have one, you likely have the second, or you also have the third. So, Sonia, I know that you were you were
I was
showing
way ahead. I was going
you,
way.
you know, that's okay. That's okay. Because one of the most important things we want to talk about tonight is a solution that both you and I and so many other people have found that can help with the sleep. It's made a tremendous difference for me. And I'm so excited to bring up the person who first introduced that to me. And it helps with that stress, and it helps to calm that busy mind. And so let's talk about that bottle that you flashed in front of us.
Mm. And I gotta say, I took one before this presentation because my mind was like going all over a little bit. And do I look tired right now? No. So it's kind of cool that this is supposed to help with sleep, but actually it helped me get not that stressed for this presentation. But I wanted to share a tip for the busy brain: journal. Journal your
Mhm.
brain dump. If that's in the morning or at night, put your thoughts on paper. So take it out, and a lot of times, especially things that you're worried about, and then you can give space, because if you have too many tabs open, sometimes it can be productive, but most times it isn't. So you'd rather just focus on one task and get it done. So that was my
Absolutely.
tip for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Another great tip for that is if you're having trouble focusing and concentrating, is the 25-minute rule, where you set a timer for 25 minutes, you work, and then you take a 5-minute break. Some people like to do a 50-minute timer and then a 10-minute break, and that certainly can do a lot to help people stay focused as well. So let's talk about Serenity or Serenity. Dr. Gutman calls it Serenity. I like that because Serenity is exactly what it gave me. Yeah. And I want to bring up Sandy. Sandy, if you can unmute yourself, because Sandy Walper has been with Immunotech, the company that provides the Serenity for us, as well as so many other wonderful products. She was the first person to share Serenity with us. And Sandy, I want to ask you to share some of the things that you told us about the product. First of all, welcome to the call. It's so great to have you here, and I'm so excited to have the people on this call hear you share this information. So, Serenity didn't used to be Serenity. When it first came out, what was it called?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to the call. It's my pleasure. So, this was the second product in the Immunotech product line, and it was called PNT 200, which is peptide tranquil natural. And so that's what it was called. So, it was a pretty cool product. Yeah, loved it.
Awesome. Awesome. And you have been, so what's great about having you join us is that for those of us that like heard about this from you in January and then ran straight to the box of product that I had and found 2 bottles and was so excited, started taking it and haven't stopped. You've had years and years and years of taking this product. And so can you give us just a little bit of, some ideas or some things that you've noticed, and the four-legged critters that you share this with as well?
Well, this is one of my favorite products, and I can go on and on forever because this is a product that is a standalone product. So you could actually build an entire network just with this product alone because this product has a drug patent on it. And this product is a natural replacement for anything in the pan family. So diazepam, lorazepam, Ativan, and it's all natural. It's no different than drinking a warm glass of milk, and it changes people's lives like Immunical does. This literally, like, Sonia was saying about sleep and stress, and, it literally changes people's lives. You talk about my four-legged friends, and I talked about it, the other night on the phone, and you and I have talked about this. Like, I've given this horse to my animals for years, and, been to Spruce Meadows, been to dog shows. This is just raw milk that was developed in France, that is a decapeptide, which means 10 amino acids linked in the disulfide bond that mirrors mother's milk. And, it attaches to the GABA receptors in the brain the same way as mother's breast milk, and it just chills you out. And,
Eh,
Doris, it's funny because when we first talked about this and when this product was first introduced to Immunotalk, we didn't even call it PNT 200. We called it the chill pills. And that's exactly what it is. It's a chill pill. And so it's a great product. It's a standalone product, and it's got all the research there, and it's fabulous. So
Yeah,
I love it.
studies. We were learning from
Right,
Dr. Gutman yesterday. They did
right,
a study with 63 women with a placebo and the Serenity, and then took a break and did another 30 days. And the percentage improvement with the Serenity over the placebo was phenomenal. 25-30% improvement in all sorts of things. So it is really amazing that way. And, I love it's derived from cow's milk, specific herds actually in France and Switzerland. And what's great about those is that there's no additives, there's no antibiotics, there's no steroids. They're not fed grass or feed that has pesticides. So we're very, very fussy. And that 10 years of research in France to break down cow's milk and find out what it is, or break down milk, period, all mother's milk. You want to know why or how mother's milk works. Like, look at a well-fed pup. You
right,
can't ask him because he's sleeping soundly
right.
after a good feed. But the Serenity, the decapeptide, works exactly like that. And I like that you shared about the GABA receptors, Sandy, because Valium, Ativan, Xanax, all of those are so addictive. And
Right.
yeah, and the fact that this is as effective as what you would consider a drug with a patent in France and in Canada, you shared with me. I think that it really is incredible, to have that level without being addictive. Natalie asked Sandy if people with dairy sensitivities can have this product,
Yeah, like there's no lactose in this product.
which
And
is rare. Yeah,
right, and I've never met one person ever in 30 years, or I'm going to say 28 years, because it was about 2 years in before we got P&T 200, right?
yeah,
And I haven't met one person that has not have a positive result with this product. Not
yeah,
one. And I
yeah.
mean, it's just amazing. Like like you could build a $1 billion company just with this product. I mean, Doris and Sonia, honestly, the whole world is stressed out. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You think?
Like,
I want to add something. I love that they're French cows. I had to add that French Canadian.
right,
But I just got to say, really, oh my God, I need one. I just lost my train of thought. Okay. Well, I wanted to bring up something about the sleep and oh yeah, no, it's not only it's addictive you talked about, but it has side effects too. I remember when I used to take those pills, either you put under your tongue or the little blue one to help me sleep. I'd wake up tasting like metal taste in my mouth the next
right.
day.
That's Sophoclone.
And yeah, exactly. And there's no way I could be functionable. And I felt like crap. So definitely, I felt the difference. So I just wanted to bring my 2 cents in this.
Well, and
Yeah.
this is a really good product, like just to introduce people to the company of Immunotech.
Yes,
because
absolutely. It's one of
because
our,
everybody is like got issues. Like we all have issues. And there's no more issues than like it is today, Doris, with, everybody's worried about fuel prices, everything is like a stressor, you know, interest rates, you name it. Right.
yeah,
So we all got that. And
yeah,
we just got to like take one of these chill pills because they really work and they're really safe. And it's no different than what our grandma used to say, or our mothers or generations before us that used to say, well, just drink a warm glass of milk before you go to bed. And, my mom used to make warm milk for me. And, that's all this is. It's just milk and a pill.
yeah,
And so we just got to like embrace how beautiful this product is and share it. And we can all like do good by helping people with this and with Immunical. They marry themselves, they connect and they work together synergistically.
They
So,
do. And we're going to talk. Thank you so much, Sandy. I so appreciate having you on the call.
Thank
We're
you.
going to talk just a little bit about Immunical as we wrap. But one of the things that's really neat is that we have introduced magnesium in
right.
with the decapeptide, and that we've picked magnesium glycinate because it calms your mind before you sleep. It allows you to fall asleep more easily. It promotes recovery from your nervous system and emotional stability. It allows you to wake up feeling refreshed. And so when you have now I'm going to try to say this, the cazopazine,
Got it.
alpha cazopazine,
Good job.
and you add the magnesium to that, the two together is just a wonderful combination that's going to make a big difference. So thank you so much, Sandy, for
You're
joining us.
welcome.
Yeah,
My
appreciate it.
pleasure. Thank you very
Um,
much.
yeah. Now, Lori, are you here? I know Lori was on the call. If she can unmute herself, I know that Lori had mentioned she was getting some amazing results from
Hi,
the. Hey, there she is.
I'm here. Hi, thanks for
Welcome,
having
Lori.
me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So I know you have a testimony with the Serenity. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, I've been using it. I actually was lucky. I got to try it before it was released. And it's something that honestly, I wasn't sure about at first when it was mentioned to me about sleep. I had no idea until after that it was also to help chill, like Sandra said during the day. So that was a really pleasant surprise. But at first, when I got it, I honestly didn't think that it would work because I'm neurodivergent. Our household is like we've tried all of the things, and sleep is just something that's extra difficult for us. And essentially, I was like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll try it. But the only thing that's ever worked for us, which is the worst because you need more and, your body is melatonin. And I know that, but it's unfortunately the only thing. And I've tried so many things. So I took two. I literally did not remember falling asleep that night. I fell asleep. I drooled. I remember and I woke up and I was refreshed and I was like, what time is it? And it was the next day. And I was like, that's crazy. But in a good way, like in such a good way that I was like, I don't actually remember the last time I had that great of a sleep.
Awesome.
So I feel like now I honestly only need like one at night and it kind of just relaxes me enough. But if I'm feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'll sleep or whatnot, I'll take two. But I think the best part for me is because with being neurodivergent, I find around my cycle, it can be a lot more intense. So I get a lot more overstimulated and overwhelmed and just frustrated. Sounds drive me crazy. So many things. Actually, the day that Sonia messaged me for this, we had just got back from Florida and it was still March break and we drove. So 18 hours, although we did get a hotel, thank goodness, but 18 hours in a car, two kids, a dog, my husband, it's just a lot. And then to arrive and it's like laundry, the kids are making just so I was like, I said to my husband, okay, I heard that you can take this during the day. I'm going to take one. I literally need 10 minutes. Okay. I laid on the couch, I put an eye mask on, and I just kind of chilled. And then it's funny because the second I looked at my phone, I had the message from Sonia and I was like asking if I had a Sorrenti. And I was like, this is so strange that you're messaging me right now because I literally just like took it. I think it was like 15, 20 minutes ago. And there was no way I could have looked at my phone before that, in that, like during the day, and I was able to get back into my day, and from there it was like completely great. So I think it's just funny because now I will take that chill pill during the day for overstimulation, and there's just a lot going on and we do have a lot more demands and social media, and I think things are just coming at us in a lot of different senses. So it's something that can just allow me to honestly chill. I loved how Sandra called it that, and I might start
Yeah.
calling it that now.
Yeah, the chill pill.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sandra,
Yeah,
we're taking over that.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
And to hear that you had an entire night's sleep is absolutely amazing. For those of us, that are a little bit older and have to get up at least once in the night, I certainly found when I was taking the Serenity that, before that, before my butt even hit the seat, my brain turned on, and I was thinking about
Mhm.
everything from yesterday, and then I was thinking about everything I had to do tomorrow. And by the time I left the bathroom and got back to bed, I was wide awake. And one of
Mhm.
the things that I found with the Serenity, I still get up once or sometimes twice in the night, depending on how much of this I've drank in the day. But I fall back asleep again right away. I'm still relaxed. I'm still in kind of that sleep mode. But don't you find, Lori, that when you take it during the day, even though it helps you sleep at night, it doesn't make you tired during the day?
Yeah, which is honestly, I was like nervous about that. And that's where I said to my husband, like, I'm gonna test this out. And like if I fall asleep, I'm sorry, but like I need to try this. So like in that moment, I was just like, Mama needs a minute, okay? And honestly, I was shocked. It really truly just allowed me to like fully calm down and literally take a minute, and then I was great the rest of the day. And I was like, that's amazing. So now it's something that I am actually going to try, because I we can give it to kids, do we?
The old version of the Serenity we could, and I do know that some, after speaking either to their family doctor or their pediatrician, are
Okay.
working with it with the magnesium. The magnesium is the thing that you definitely have to be careful with children. And so you do, although I know I've heard testimony after testimony about how much the product had helped kids who had difficulty
Reading.
focusing. Yeah, and I know Sonia knows that from firsthand experience as well. And so the only thing now, the concern is, of course, the magnesium. And so it's something that I wouldn't recommend without speaking to your family doctor or your pediatrician
I
for sure.
need to add something about the doctor. I went to see my nephrologist yesterday for my 3 month appointment. I showed her this. She looked at it, read the ingredients, and she's like, "Oh, and your numbers are still great. You're adding magnesium and you're adding potassium and this." And she's like, "You know what? Take two." She didn't just say yes, she said, "Take two." So when she said that, I was like, okay. And this, another thing, this is the best looking script I've ever got in my life, a prescription for Immunocal Platinum. I know we didn't talk about it that much, but there's a doctor, a nephrologist in New Brunswick, Canada, that has prescribed me the platinum for my constipation issues. And of course, there's other things that help me with. But I just felt so proud when I left that office. I don't have insurance for this, but if someone would have insurance for their medical, you might be able to get it paid. So just letting you know about that.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the Immunocal just briefly. So, Lori, thank you so much for sharing that testimonial. I think, the challenges with neurodivergence and, what you face on the daily, and the fact that, this product has helped you. And I'm looking at Sandy's face, and I know she's thinking, I knew it would. I know that that's what she's thinking. So, another person that I wanted to,
Thank you.
you're very welcome. Thank you.
Excellent.
And so another person that we really wanted to talk to was Jorge, who is Canada's general manager for Immunotech. And he's on his way on vacation. He was in an airport, and I don't know if he's actually on the call with us or not. Jorge, did you manage to make it on? I'm thinking he might be gone,
No,
but
actually, no, he's not here. He couldn't make it.
he couldn't. That's okay. Thank you, Dylan. I do want to share my screen really quickly because one of the things that Jorge has shared in the past is his. Can you guys see his numbers? We're going to talk about him while he's on a plane. He let me know that that was okay. So Jorge struggled with sleep and with getting quality sleep. And if you look at the indication on the right hand side, the report from his sleep, you'll see the lines of interrupted sleep, and you can see at the bottom that he's awake 2 times, he's 9 times restless, and he had 24 minutes that he was awake or restless in his day. And this was a real problem for him. And he jokes that we're the ones that keep him up at night, all of us Immunotech consultants, but that's okay. He's good with that because now he takes the Serenity. And you'll see that the amount of sleep that he has is about the same. And, he looks like he's a midnight kind of guy. But he's 0 times awake and he's only 1 time restless. And out of that whole time that he slept, only 3 minutes that he was awake or restless. And so this is another really good indicator of how well the Serenity works for sleep and for stress and for all of the wonderful things that we've talked about. So I take one in the evening. The effects of it last about 6 to 8 hours, and I try to take about a half hour to an hour before bed or before a meeting. Sonia, I know that you have taken, as many as 2 to go to sleep. And I know that there are a few people that have taken more. Again, with the magnesium, you want to be careful of how many, how much magnesium you're getting in a day. But certainly no problems with if you're healthy, to have that magnesium. And more people are low in magnesium than high in magnesium, tends to be the case. So, Sonia, Immunocal, we've talked about this.
One thing. Immunocal is something that we talk about every Thursday night. You are invited to come and join us tomorrow night. There are several calls, English, French, US, Canadian. Ask the person who invited you here to get the right link for you. We talk about this product, and it's even more documented. It's even more research, lots more stories. And I'm so passionate about it. But we do have these calls every month that we're doing, like this tonight, called the Immunotalk podcast. Tonight was about stress, sleep, the busy brain. Last month, we actually had one about your pets and how this glutathione and raising the Immunocal product that we have, which is a precursor, how it can be beneficial for your pets also. So if you missed that, you'd like the replay, we have access to that. And then next month, who do you know that may need help with their weight, whether it is weight gain or weight loss? I think weight loss is more popular, but I know someone that has gained weight when they were really, really thin and they needed it. They need to eat more because of this product. So we're going to invite you guys to come on. It's April 22nd, I believe. Yep. And it is at the same time as tonight. So depending what time zone you are at, I run on Eastern, I say, 8:30 Eastern time. That's PM. So we'd like to have you invite your guests. And other than that, Doris, I do think...
I just want to talk really quickly about next month's call, because it's an industry that I've been involved with for more than a decade, and have had challenges around that myself. We're going to talk about gut health as it relates to weight loss. We're going to talk about weight loss as well. And I think this is going to be a really important call, folks, because there is so much out there right now that, and so many things that people are doing to lose weight that are having such negative impacts on their health. And so to hear about how to do it right and to have a very positive, lasting effect, I think is really important. So I want to thank you again for being here this evening. I want you to please get back to the person that invited you to this call so that you can find out how to get our Serenity, which is on sale this month. And so you can get your Serenity and you can get some sleep. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
One teardrop from my eye. You better save it for the middle of the night when things aren't black and white. And the troubadour, remember 24. And when I'm back in Chicago, I see red. Another version of me, I was in it. I wave goodbye to the end of beginning. The song has started now, and you're just finding out. Now isn't that a laugh? A major sacrifice, but clueless at